This father and son duo came from North Carolina to see tonight's game. Diego is a Warrior fan. Dad, not so much.
We're getting along so far because everything's going my way. Too big, too strong. Really need the crowd behind us. That's why I'm here, to give us that extra boost and get us over the hump. Take total control tonight.
We're coming back tonight. We're going to tie it up 2-2, go back to Golden State, then 3-2, and then we're going to control the series.
This is former Chicago Bear Desmond Clark. And y'all hear me on many podcasts, but when y'all hear me on Pick'em Pros, y'all know it's all about family. This ain't just business.
Tavares Jordan.
I pick 'em like a pro, global trying ball, talking pick and roll. We gon' up the score, touchdown, this is not field goal. We the winning team, champions when you walk through the halls. You can place your bet with us, cause you know we gon' win them all. I pick 'em like a pro, global trying ball, talking pick and roll. We gon' up the score, touchdown, this is not field goal. We the winning team, champions when you walk through the halls. You can place your bet with us, cause you know we gon' win them all. Yeah, this is a major play. We do it big in a major way. Diego be having the pick of the day. Here we come, don't care if you ready. We them boys, the gold is heavy. Top picks like cheese, no shredded. Number one is where we headed. I'm a grizzly, a bear like Desmond. I'm a Steeler, no saint, no reverend. Making plays is our profession. Do it big, it's now or never. I got game like I'm moving clever. We be reaching all different levels. Never breaking, we hitting the pedal. Right on time, we ride on schedule. I pick 'em like a pro, global trying ball, talking pick and roll. We gon' up the score, touchdown, this is not field goal. We the winning team, champions when you walk through the halls. You can place your bet with us, cause you know we gon' win them all. I pick 'em like a pro, global trying ball, talking pick and roll. We gon' up the score, touchdown, this is not field goal. We the winning team, champions when you walk through the halls. You can place your bet with us, cause you know we gon' win them all. Yeah. Come join the winning team. Winner circle.
Welcome back. You know who it is. I am Derek Thompson.
And I'm Diego Thompson.
I'm Steve Payne, Christopher Davis.
Yes, sir. And who are we?
Pick'em Pros.
We are the Pick'em Pros, coming back at you in the house with a special episode of Who You Got, father-son dynamic duo, and our main man, C. Payne. How y'all doing on this lovely Friday evening?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Just doing good.
Okay. How you doing, C. Payne?
Yeah, good. Valentine's Day was good. Birthday coming up in a couple weeks. So
birthday.
I'm excited. It's been good. It's been good.
Birthday. Still a baby. What you turning, man?
23. Ironically, that's the number of guy in Chicago. So
all right. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if
like
I'll say
that.
I'm celebrating the Jordan year.
Jordan year.
Yeah.
I like that.
I might just have to do it for the post the one time. Just for the one time.
All right. I like it. Yes. Well, man, hey, thank you everybody for joining us. We're going to have a fire show for you today. Tons to get into. So we got a lot to cover. A lot of NBA action, March Madness. Luka, does he fit in LA? He's been up and down, mainly down so far. So we're going to talk about that. The NBA All-Star game, that was last week, but we've got to give you our take on that, on how we would fix that. We've got the West Stars. Are they going to rise in the playoffs? Suns, should they trade Booker? That was recently brought up. So we want to talk about that. With March Madness, we're going to go into the women. They're very exciting. A lot of parity. You've got USC, Juju, you got UConn, you got South Carolina. A lot of action going on there. We're going to talk about the men, some NFL, fantasy football, just an action-packed show. So we got a ton to dive into. All right, y'all ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for checking us out. We also special thank you to Mashika and Trey. We know you watch every show, so much love to you. Thank you very much. And let's get into it. All right. Well, Chris, man, let's start with you on this one with Luka in LA.
Oh yeah.
Does he fit? Diego's rocking the throwback Maverick jersey here. It's a throwback at this point, which is funny to say. But the Lakers, they thought they had gold, right? But like I said, when something seems too good to be true, oftentimes it is.
Yep.
Right? We said that, called that out.
Yep.
So, but man, since this is your team, why don't you start us off, man?
Not to be hyperbolic, but Luka, he's still working himself back. It's a little alarming that it has been a real Luka Doncic game yet. The performance against the Hornets gave a lot to be desired. Not going to discount that, but my favorite player again having 40 points. Austin Reeves having 32. Hey, we're like I said, I'm focused on the future. I just can't have Luka looking like this in 2 to 3 years. I need the Luka Doncic that we saw take the Mavericks to the finals.
Yeah.
Now, understand he's still working himself back, so I'm just going to hold out optimism now. If we really get towards the end of the season and he still looks like this, it's going to get weird. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
Okay. All right, what's your take, Diego?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying this right now. It's looking like Luka is the Lakers' third best player right now. I'm just. I mean, LeBron, and you got Austin Reeves who dropped 32. He's been balling. So I mean, I just don't think it's a great fit. I just don't. I mean, he's averaging 14. He shot 5 for 18 from the field against the Hornets, and he didn't play the last game against the Blazers. So yeah, I just don't like the fit.
Hey. Again, small sample size, so we gonna see. I'm holding out hope, but everybody's now saying after everybody was poo-pooing Nico Harrison, now he looks like he's being called a genius at this point, even though Anthony Davis is still out for an extended period of time with that injury. True. I just want that to be mentioned, but we'll see.
Okay, all right. Well, hey man, you better hope because we're hearing rumors. What are the rumors, Diego?
The rumors are that he's gonna go to Denver to play with his buddy Jokic. Yeah.
Okay. Man, that would be wild.
I hope not. Oh, so now when he goes to the Nuggets, that's when it's cool for him to drop 30. When we hear on the Lakers, all of a sudden, oh wait, no, he's gonna suck it. It's terrible. But let him get with Jokic, and all of a sudden, he turns up. I hope that doesn't happen because I feel like that would be the Lakers fans' worst nightmare. Just Luka going to Denver. Not great. Not great at all.
Man, well, I tell you what, let's move on to the next topic here. Let's move on to LeBron and the All-Star game. Okay, so got a couple of topics here as far as the All-Star game goes, because I know a lot of folks have been waiting for our take on this. So we're going to talk about how we would fix the All-Star game. Of course, we're going to go into that in the dunk contest, all that. But before we go into that, Diego, LeBron didn't play in the All-Star game. Announced it about an hour before. Okay, and there's been a lot of talk about selfish or this or that. Just what's your take on LeBron not playing in the All-Star game and the announcement coming out about a week before?
I didn't like that. I didn't like him announcing it that late in advance, because then if he announced it earlier, then you would have got someone to be able to take his place. It would have just been better. But yeah, I just and you saw him come back the day of when they came back from the All-Star break, and he dropped 26, then he dropped 40 against the Blazers. So yeah, I don't like it. Yeah.
Okay. What's your take?
Oh no, I think just on one hand, it's maybe his ankle was feeling really bad that game, but come on, man, you could have announced it earlier. Somebody else could have gotten in a deserving spot. It was a weird move, and I understand that he's again the aging superstar, but again, if you can drop 40 last night, just put up a couple shots, man. It's not like you gotta go out there and dunk the ball and go really crazy. So because again, y'all aren't gonna put in effort anyway, so what would even be the point? And that's to the greater point of the All-Star game. But I'm look, if y'all are already not putting effort, the ankle wasn't gonna feel that bad compared to right now. So that was right. I do see that criticism of LeBron. I'm you know what? That one's valid. That one is fully valid. I do agree. It was a weird move.
Yeah. Well, I think he had a hall pass for that one. I really do. I feel that the NBA knew. I think they didn't want to announce that until right before, because they didn't want to diminish the game and whatnot. But I think they were all in cahoots for that. I don't have, and I think you guys probably agree with this, I don't have a problem with him missing the game because, again, 20-year vet and all that, okay, fine. But the problem universally was more with how it was handled.
Yeah.
But I think most people put that on LeBron. I'm actually going to take up for LeBron. I don't think he waited until an hour before. I think that's just how they jointly decided to message that. I think they already knew. I doubt he waited until an hour before to just go ahead and announce that. So I have no proof of that, but that's my gut feeling on that. And now we see he's just played back-to-back games and is looking amazing. You know what I'm saying? So that ankle or foot or whatever, I think was okay.
He just didn't want to play.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into the fixes. So I already see Brandon made a suggestion out of the corner of my eye through the comments that I'd have the same thing. He said, East versus West, let's have home court advantage in the finals, or Team USA versus Team World. So, and that's what I've heard a lot of people say. Diego, how would you fix the All-Star game?
I mean, I like the format how it was now. I mean, I like putting the rising stars in there because they were gonna play hard, and then kind of force some of the older guys to play hard. But I think USA World would be the best because that's more of like a pride thing. Sort of what you see with the NHL. They had the countries go at it, and they were like fighting during the All-Star game.
Yeah,
I think that's the best. That's the best option.
Okay. All right. How about you, C-Bang?
I would say USA World, and then bringing back the Elam ending like they had. And the first year that they had it, it actually worked to perfection. And just like seeing the fact that like you're playing for your charity, you're playing for like, let's say they're given to a global charity or one that's specifically like catered to like fans in America. Like it would just be really cool being able to see that. I feel like it is an effort issue, but there's no pride in the All-Star game. And everybody, and I don't want the All-Star game to turn into what the Pro Bowl became. Because, the Pro Bowl used to be like, oh, this is exciting. And now people are more so caring about the All-Pros and the All-NBA instead of just actually enjoying like this exhibition for fans to just see their favorite players for a little weekend. So, I think that, the NBA, that's the biggest problem with the NBA is just like the All-Star game is just, it's lost the pageantry. And it's a nostalgia issue too, because everybody wants to go back to how it was in 2016, but that's not how it's going to be, unfortunately.
Yeah, we had different cats. I mean, you had Kobe. He wasn't going to let them just come out and mess around. And it's funny that everyone claims that they, love Kobe so much and the Mamba mentality and all that, but nobody has the Mamba mentality.
Yeah, exactly. When it's time to show it, then they don't show it.
Right. So that's very interesting to me. I love the OGs versus the young heads.
Yeah,
I really like that. I think they have been having the rising stars. I get it because that would make, of course, the all-stars play harder because they don't want to lose to the rising stars. But it was nostalgic to me a little bit to see the OGs on one team and then have, the young guns on another. So I felt that was that was pretty neat. So a couple of things I would do. I would either go east-west, but let the winner get home court. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, my last thing was bring a 1v1 tournament to the All-Star game. I'm sorry. Because if you watch the clips of WNBA Unrivaled and the clips, they are cooking and it looks wonderful. Listen, they have to bring it. It is so exciting just seeing like all these different players. And I don't want it to be like the one issue with the WNBA versus they have guards going up against bigs. Honestly, I don't want to see Kyrie versus Jared Jackson. Like, let's have Kyrie versus Steph.
Yeah.
Let's make it interesting. I think that bringing a 1v1 tournament, regardless of how NBA players might feel of just like, oh, we might get cooked or like it might be embarrassing and fans might be using it against them. It's for the All-Star game. Like this doesn't count. This isn't like a finals MVP at this point. It's just your pride at this point.
Okay.
So maybe that'll make them show up.
Okay. So yes, a 1v1 tournament would be amazing. That would be off the charts. Bring the NBA back would be amazing. But Diego, is there any chance and that these modern day players are going to play 1v1 at the All-Star game?
Nope. That's not going to happen.
None.
That will not be happening.
If they won't do the dunk contest, they going to really do 1v1? There is no way. Now,
like nationally televised for everyone to see. Because, some of these players that are top players, not every top player is the best 1v1 player.
Right.
They don't want to be exposed on national TV for everyone to see. That's summertime stuff.
They don't. Again, I would love to see that. You make a great point as far as how that would be amazing. That would be game-changing. There would be nothing like it. But These players, no, there is no way. I would bet all that I have.
Michael Jordan and Kobe, yeah, they would do it, but
right?
Sure.
Exactly. But there's no way that would happen. But yeah, I think if you have the OGs versus the young guns, that would be intriguing, and I feel that they will play harder for that. Money doesn't matter. They have all the money in the world, so money's not going to matter.
Paying them more isn't going to do anything.
And then you could do USA versus the world, but I kind of don't really want to see that as much. I'd like to save that for the Olympics. I think let that be special for the Olympics. I think OGs versus the young guns would be well enough, and then you got your bragging rights, and so I think that would be neat. Now the harder one, because I think that's the easier one to fix. Ironically,
yeah,
the dunk contest though, dude. Like, okay, tons of formats. We know a lot of things that would work, but the problem is the stars just don't want to get in it. They don't want to lose. They don't want to be embarrassed, especially with McClung now winning 3 in a row. Shout out to him. He's been amazing. And we've got to give our flowers to Jaylen Brown. He stepped in and at least participated in a dunk contest. I believe it was it last year or the year before?
Last year.
Last year. Got to give him his props for that. Really appreciate that. He tried. And he's a star, and he participated, so I really appreciate that. But, man, Ja, Zion, and they don't realize just how big this would be for their brand.
Yeah.
Ja wants to really come back.
Especially Ja and Zion. Like,
yes, that's the boost that they need right now. But no hope, man. Too much money.
I genuinely don't know what would need to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's just up to the players at this point. Like, it's up to them just waking up one day and be like, hey, I want to compete. There's no format that's going to make them want to do it.
And to me, there's like a finite amount of cool dunks you can do or like recreate. So it's like there's nothing more. It's really nothing more you can really do. Like, because everybody's seen like the cool thing before.
Right.
And it's just like, you can put your own flair and own twist to it, but
that's a great point. However, my pushback on that would be, yes, but we would like to see the stars do those same dunks. I sign a, hey, give me Zion, give me Ja, give me those guys, have them do the dunks that Jordan and Dominique and all them do. I'm cool with that because they were recycled dunks then. Heck, you had Jordan when he won the dunk contest in '88. He jumped from the free throw line twice in that same dunk. He did the same dunk twice in the dunk contest.
Like, just seeing the stars do it would get the people like,
that's what it's about. Yeah, it's more about just seeing the stars do it. They can do the exact same dunk, but just being able to line up Saturday night, and be able to see all the stars out. That's really what a lot of that was for. But I think, Diego, you make a great point. You change all the formats in the world, you can bring in whomever. Guys got to want it.
Yeah.
And they're just too comfortable right now. All right. Well, let's move on to the next topic here. Behind on the slides here. Hold on. Let me pull these up. Let's move on to the West. All right. So let's stay in the NBA here and let's move on to the West. Are the stars going to rise up, fellas? So as we go into the playoffs, all right, with NBA here, we're on NBA. Are the stars going to step up and take the title this year? So, C-Pain, this was actually one of your topics. So why don't you start us off on this one?
So pretty much, I believe that the younger cats need to have a great playoffs because I feel like at this point, it's always been like the older guys or the people who've been established dominating the playoffs. I feel like seeing a young OKC team, seeing what the Grizzlies are doing, seeing them would be great for the NBA. But again, in the West, you still got to count for the Nuggets and Jokic because unfortunately, Minnesota traded away the only way to stop him. So it's like, well, if they get like a lucky couple matchups, they could end up in the finals.
Right.
So I think that the younger players really are going to step up and shine, but I still wouldn't count out Denver. And that would be my whole thing. I think that I personally want OKC or Memphis to go to the finals, but I think that I'm still worried about Denver. So I don't know. I don't know.
About
The
Denver,
thing
what do you
is,
think,
like,
Diego, is it old guard or just somebody new step up?
The last 2 years, it's been like newer stars. We had the Timberwolves and the Dallas in the conference finals in the West. Then the year before, we had Jokic make it to the final. So it's not like LeBron and Steph and KD have been dominating really since 2022 when Steph won the chip. So I think that trend's going to continue. I think we're going to get SGA in the finals. That's what I picked. I picked the Thunder.
Yeah, and a lot of people still have the Thunder to go in there. We know the Lakers made their big trade, but a lot of people still have the Thunder. I think you both have the Thunder.
Yeah, I've said ad nauseum on the show. I don't think the Lakers are making the finals, y'all. Listen, I'm a Lakers.
You sure?
I'm a Lakers and a LeBron fan, but I'm realistic. That's not happening. That's not happening.
All right,
at all. If we do, hooray! But man.
Okay.
Let us play Denver with not having guard play, and then Jamal Murray deciding to randomly be like, "Hey, I only turn up versus this team, and I'm terrible versus everybody else." So,
Diego, do you believe C-Payne?
I think when the time comes up and they start playing better, I think you're gonna end up picking them. Yeah.
Let him get out of the first round. Then he's gonna start getting excited.
I might.
Just like Lamar. This is the same man that about week 13, 14 said, yep, Lamar, nope, no MVP. Nope. Then about week 15, 16, yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know.
I was like, listen, Josh Allen just beat the Lions at that point. I was like, what am I gonna do? I had nothing.
It's gonna be too good to you, man. You're not gonna be able to resist. Well, let's talk about this again. Staying on the NBA. And since we're on this topic, I think this is the perfect time to talk about the next face of the NBA. All right, next face of the NBA. So, Diego, who is going to be the next face? Wemby just got hurt. You know, we're scrambling. LeBron and Steph are still the face. Who is going to be the next face of the NBA?
I think Wemby is going to be okay. I just think this is really all just a tank for him to get Cooper Flagg. So I think Wemby is going to still be in the mix. I think the number one guy is going to be my guy, SGA. I think SGA will be the face of the NBA.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. How many years has SGA been in the league?
Isn't he like 26?
Something like that. Something like 7.
I think he'll be okay. 27.
All right. Okay. That might be unprecedented for a 7th year, 8th year. And then you're talking maybe 8th, 9th year.
These young guys have been, these older guys have been around for so long. They've delayed everybody else.
That's a great point. They have delayed it. So
it's kind of their fault.
Yeah. So it may be unprecedented. We may have for the first time somebody, because normally face person takes over maybe their 4th year, 5th year, 6th year. So it's a little late, but this is unprecedented. We've got guys playing into their 40s. So it's different now. What do you say, C-Payne?
I would say SGA, and I don't know. I think again, like Diego said, the whole issue is the older players are still here, and they still seem to look like versions of themselves, like very decent versions of themselves. It's not like a fall off, where immediately it became LeBron and Steph in the faces. But I don't know. I think that even still, Jason Tatum, I don't know, because of the Celtics, and people hating the Celtics. That's not going to be great to push for the face. Giannis, I thought was going to be the face after that finals run. Honestly, like a great story of hey, this Greek kid who came from nothing, all of a sudden has a 50-point finals performance, hits all his free throws after everybody was trolling him that whole playoff series.
True.
So I thought that was going to happen. That didn't happen. Jokic, everybody's going to be like, oh well, his game's not boring. Until you actually face that man in the playoffs and see him decimate your team. Man. That game, not even to be a hater, his game is actually pretty exciting if you really look into it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Anthony Edwards, he seems to be shying away from it. Yeah. So I think that really it should be SGA, because again, younger team, OKC's fan base again is rabid and they're so passionate. So I think that it should be SGA.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I want to hear my take.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Why not? Next face of the NBA. SGA is just
he's got the most aura in the league.
Gosh,
he just does, man. Like
SGA, his game is silky smooth, but that's not the face of the NBA. Ant-Man got punked in the Western Conference Finals by Luka, so we can never unsee that. And he clearly doesn't want to be the face because of all of his off-the-court stuff, baby mama, so he don't want to be it. Luka drinking too much beer to be the face of the NBA, so the Mavs even gave up on him. Zion ate himself out of the league, all right? And Wemby, just like most people that size, is not going to stay healthy throughout his career. So it's none of these guys. Gentlemen, it's not even close. The next face of the NBA is going to be Cooper Flagg.
Ooh. Wow.
Not even close.
Wow.
Come on.
Okay.
Yes, he will be the face of the NBA.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's my take on that, man.
Oh,
I would love that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. He's
That
still at Duke.
Flagg.
But I actually like that take.
Man.
I like that
Flagg.
take.
He
I
will
did-
be the next face of the NBA.
I did not think to do with that, but
Man, I did not
understanding
think of that.
how the NBA and
That's what I
how
do, man.
and how the WNBA reacted when a certain superstar
Yes,
in
yes.
Iowa came in.
And it will be
Yeah,
the same.
you might be onto
It
something.
will
You
be
might
the
be cooking.
same. It will be the same reaction. It's
Yep.
going to be the same thing.
Man,
It'll
Cooper
be
Flagg's gonna
outrage
save
and
the
whatever.
NBA.
Yep. But
Yeah.
hey, you might as well get used to it because I think he will have the charisma. He has the game, and give him a couple years. I feel that he will be the next face of the NBA.
Hey, no, you cooked with that one. That was,
Yeah,
that was,
man,
that
I
was,
think
that was
about
really
that.
unexpected.
Yeah.
Did not
I was
think about
just
that.
thinking about it as you were talking. As you were about to say it, I'm like, he's about to say
You knew
Cooper
as,
Flagg.
as I ended it, you knew where I
Yeah.
was going.
Yeah.
All
I didn't
right.
expect that at all. That's
Yeah.
great. That was great.
man. Hey, maybe that'll be like my Dion to Baltimore take. We'll see. All right. Another interesting take. Oh, let me see the comment up there because that may have been relevant to the face. Was that relevant to the face? So SGA, soft spoken, like Tatum, Cooper Flagg, Larry Bird. 80s all
Cooper
over
Flagg's
again.
back,
Yeah.
Larry Bird.
yeah. Like I said, SGA again, love his game, but it just, people aren't tuning in droves to see SGA. Great play. Deserves to be MVP. Again, two things could be true. He could be a phenomenal player and also not eligible to be face of the NBA. And I just don't think he's face of the NBA. Material,
I'm gonna give you your flowers. You're right on that one.
No,
You're
no,
right.
yeah.
You're
So I
right.
appreciate
Yeah, you're
that,
right.
fellas.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's move on. This would be, controversial. I started not to bring this topic up because I'll actually be in Phoenix next week at a Suns game. So, man, if they see this one, they might run me out of the stadium. But hey, take integrity. This is something that's been on my mind. So I want to get your take on it. So, Phoenix Suns, okay, they are they even in the play-in at this point? Are they like 11?
They're 11.
They
They're
are
26 and 29.
Yes, have been underachieving like crazy. And, KD's on the trading block. They've been trying to trade Bradley Beal. They will make all these radical moves, traded their entire bench to get a 34-year-old KD coming off of an Achilles and major injuries and all that. They will do everything but move the untouchable Devin Booker. Is it time that the Suns consider trading Devin Booker? Diego.
No, the thing is, they made it to the finals with Devin Booker. I don't think that's the move. Like they had a finals team, and then they traded all the key role players: Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, everybody from that finals team to get a Achilles torn Kevin Durant.
Yes.
So I think they need to trade Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to trade Devin Booker. They just need, because the KD has not worked. They've gone to the finals with Booker. They can win with him. Kevin Durant is not working.
But can they at this point? Can they at this
I don't know
point?
if they can,
Can you
but-
build with what Booker's making? Can Booker be the number two?
Yeah.
We know he can't be the number one on the championship team.
He almost was.
Can Booker be the number two?
I think he can, yeah.
Okay, and he almost was.
I mean, Jamal Murray was the number. Andrew Wiggins was a number 2 on a champ. Like it's about the entire roster construction.
Okay. Love your take. What do you say, C-Pain?
Yeah, I agree. You can't let your all-time franchise leader, Ian, again, when y'all were in the pits, he was the one thing that everybody looked at the Suns was like, oh, this is shining. Look at this shining example of like greatness. And then, come playoff time again, you see like during this whole time with KD, it has not been great. It's been very unfortunate. I mean, getting swept, that was ridiculous. And I think that just as a fan of Devin Booker, I wouldn't want to leave a place that you've like obviously like you've been stamped And again, because you want to be like your idol Kobe, you're
Mhm.
gonna want to, stay where your love is supported. But again, we've seen how crazy this NBA is, and we thought a franchise cornerstone who would never get traded is now on my team. So it's like, with the reality of the NBA, I hope the GM is not stupid enough to do that. But we've seen crazier stuff. So I hope he stays in Phoenix. I hope that they figure out a way to get KD on another team so that he can have a team that is built around him. But again, the West has gotten so good at this point where you're gonna need a real big star in order to help you out. So we'll see.
Okay. So you guys both say keep Booker, which I understand. Again, that's a controversial topic. Everybody doesn't have the what like Dallas to say, nah, you know what? I don't care that you took us to the finals. This still isn't going to work. We're going to make a bold move and actually get to the finals.
Luka was like hurt, and there was a bunch of other stuff with him, I think.
Okay. And so is Booker. Those hamstrings got chronic hammy issues. I mean, again, the Mavs, everybody thought they were crazy when they let Steve Nash go. And then Steve Nash he won back-to-back MVPs in Phoenix after that and almost took them to the finals. And then about a year or so later, the Mavs came around and won the title and proved to be right. So I think sometimes you have to make that move. And like I saw Brandon put in the comments, man, I personally think the Suns need to blow it up. And they can't keep half doing it. And so, KD, all these other guys, you're half doing it. I think they need to fully. Do you know what they would get for Booker if they really auctioned him? What they would get? So I personally, again, love Booker. Know he's been a staple in that community. It would hurt. Fans would be mad for a little bit, for sure. But I personally think it's time. While his value is still high, I think I would actually trade Book.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough time for you in that stadium, dog.
I'll see y'all next Friday. I'll be there. Pick a pros. Find me. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Oh man, we got a good one here. Here we go for all my Boston fans. We stay on NBA for a while here. All right, Boston fans. So Diego, you know how we feel about Udoka.
Oh yeah.
Let's take away the other, infidelities and whatnot. But he was an amazing coach, and we see what he has done with the Houston Rockets and has them at the top of the league. Who in the world thought? Even you went out on a limb.
I had him in the play-in, man.
Yeah, you had them in the play-in.
You guys didn't even have them anywhere close.
And we were losing our minds.
Yeah.
But here it is. They were as high as 3.
Yeah.
At one point. Where are they now?
I think they're 4 or 5.
Still about 4 or 5. Okay. So Udoka is clearly an amazing coach. What would the Celtics be if they still had Udoka?
Man, they still had Udoka. I mean, Curry was winning that championship regardless. The next year, I think they would have won. They probably would have been the reigning back-to-back champions.
Yep.
I think they would have won the year Denver won. They'd probably be about to get a 3-peat.
Yep.
Like, because Tatum wasn't taking he wouldn't be letting that stuff fly.
Yes.
All them crazy shots and all that stuff.
Yes.
And with this roster, because they had their Porzingis was Robert Williams.
Yes.
They had their Drew Holiday was Marcus Smart.
Yes.
Like,
right.
And they almost won with that team. They didn't face Curry, they would have won the championship.
Yep.
So,
yeah. What's your take, man?
Hey man, that man fumbled knee long. I do not trust him as far as I can throw him. I'm so serious. Listen, we could exist in a world of woulda, shoulda, couldas. And mind you were up 2-1 on the Warriors. Like, if you would have won the championship, you could have beat him when Steph really didn't have that good of a team around him, and you didn't. So at this point, hey, shout out to him in Houston. Maybe he's good for younger established players. I like what Joe Mazzulla is doing. I like the whole mad scientist vibe he gives. So, we gonna see.
Yeah, he's just getting carried.
Is he a mad scientist or is he just weird?
I think he's just weird. And getting carried too.
Yeah, like everybody that's weird is not a genius.
Warriors, let me tell you something. If the Warriors get to the finals, I am picking them all day long because we all know Curry is the Celtics owner. He owns them, no doubt. And then Jimmy Butler carried the Heat to 2 finals and beat the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals on route to those 2 finals.
All right.
So, like, we have both of the guys the Celtics don't want to face.
True. But again, we're gonna act like Steve Kerr wasn't carried by talent for a good little while. I mean, there was literally a game where Golden State coached themselves during that dynasty run. There was a whole game where they're like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna call plays."
Udoka's
So
actually a good coach, though.
What are we doing, man?
Like Missoula just sits there and gets carried.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, so Diego, we'll touch on this and then we're going to move on to the NCAA women in a second. But as far as the Warriors, I kind of agree with you. I would say as long as they don't face the Mavs, I think the Mavs, they have a healthy, I know you're looking weird, but the Mavs with AD and all that size, I don't think the Warriors, I think that's the team that would give them the most problems.
Yeah.
I think that's the team that would give the most problems. If the Mavs can get knocked out by somebody else or AD just continues to be hurt, if the Warriors find their way in the finals, I could see them beating the other teams in the West. But if the Mavs are fully healthy, I think that's an awful matchup, just size-wise.
Yeah, I think the Mavs have what it takes. It's just a matter of them getting the seeding.
Right.
If they face the Nuggets in the first round, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about matchups for the Mavs and the Warriors, I think.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. Well, let's move on to the NCAA women. Man, I am so excited about March Madness here. Man, so a lot of great stuff coming up. So we're starting with the women first because I'm gonna tell you, I'm more hyped for the women's March Madness than I am the men. It is so compelling between USC and Juju, UConn, South Carolina, Notre Dame is number one. Like it's crazy right now. So I'm really, really excited about this. And matter of fact, we're gonna go catch Notre Dame versus NC State on Sunday. So super excited about that. But Diego, man, would you say that the women's game is more fun to watch, or are they more dominant right now than the men as far as college?
I would say so, just because of all the matchups. Like the players are returning, so you like know the players better.
Right.
And college is a lot. This is a very great freshman class for college basketball.
Yep.
There are a lot of great players, but some people don't know them as much because they don't follow the high school game as much.
Right.
But with these players, you've seen, Paige, you've seen Juju, they played in the tournament last year, so it just has great storylines.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You got anything on that?
Oh,
C-Pain?
definitely. I think that these games are so exciting and so riveting. I mean, I remember in the last year watching that whole conference run, and again, South Carolina's dominance. Like, we really got to talk about Don Staley as like one of the greatest coaches, period, in sports history.
Yeah.
But across all sports, it doesn't matter, not just women's sports, all sports. Like, that's just pure dominance. But when it comes to like the excitement for the games, like that LSU Iowa game last year felt like I was watching, and it felt like NBA playoffs, damn near the finals. We're just watching like how great of a game that was, and again, seeing how well Juju's been playing, Paige and UConn still doing their thing. I want to see Paige go out with a bang. Personally, she's been one of my favorite players for a good while. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah, we definitely will see. It's exciting. It's old school men's NCAA is what it is. Reminds you of Leitner, Hurley, Fab Five. All these different rivalries and whatnot. It's definitely that. And again, like Brandon said in the comments, just having the stars there 3-4 years, it's just math. It definitely, you get to know the players. So when you have an emotional investment in the players, it just makes it more exciting. So that's a huge advantage that they have. So moving on to South Carolina, they've taken a couple of recent L's. Again, you're not going to find a bigger Dawn Staley fan than myself. We recently filmed a interview with Brianna where she interviewed us. We'll be putting that out pretty soon. So shout out to Brianna. Looking forward to having you back on, Bree, and a lot of your interviews that are coming up, Bree. But in that, I said when she asked us who would be the number one person that we would like to have on the show, I said Dawn Staley. Hands down. That's like, I idolize Dawn. But with that said, Diego, is South Carolina in trouble taking some bad L's?
I think they're in trouble taking a few L's, but I don't think they're in too much trouble because of the experience they have. But I do think they need to get it together so I can get a high seed because there are a lot of good teams.
Yeah.
So if they don't get a number one seed, then they could be in for an Elite Eight type loss.
Yeah, that number 1 seed is in jeopardy. I would say that I'm a ride with Dawn, in this for sure. What I do like the controversy and I like the losses now. I'm happy that it's not like undefeated running the table. I think with this particular team, if they had found a way to go undefeated, I think they would be in trouble when it, came to the tournament. Now that they've had some losses, even you could say an embarrassing blowout loss at home, I feel that could work in their favor for the tournament. She's going to have them ready. Okay. And they have an amazing scouting department. Remember, Dawn Staley, when they beat UConn, she gave all the credit to her scout team for having the perfect game plan for them when they face them. So I think they'll be ready and they'll have something cooking. Okay, good. All right. So let's move on to UConn, Diego. So UConn has had some big wins here. Again, a blowout win against South Carolina. That was a shock. People aren't surprised that they won, but the way they won was definitely surprising. Gino's a legendary coach, and UConn they had a amazing performance last year to get, knocked out of that tournament. But Diego, is UConn, can they win it all this year?
I think they can, because they got Paige, who's one of the best players in college basketball, and now they got that signature win now, because they had lost to a few of the top teams, but now they beat a good team, and I think that's big for them, big for their confidence also.
And they're very experienced. So, who's your pick? We've got we're 4 weeks away, because our March Madness show at Kings is 4 weeks from tomorrow, which we'll be talking about that more a little later. But tournament is about 4 weeks away. Got conference tournaments in about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So as of right now, who would you pick to win the championship
I would pick Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Okay.
I mean, they've beaten 5 of the top 12 teams.
Yeah.
They've beaten number 4 USC, UConn, UNC, Duke, Texas. They've beaten about everybody. Okay. So I think it's easily them.
Okay. Well, hey, we get to see them in person on Sunday, so can't wait to see that against a great team. Because NC State women are always good, and they're right at 12. They've been top 10 a lot of the year. So excited to see that. Yeah, as of right now, man. Again, I'm a ride with South Carolina, man. I think Dawn Staley and the team, they find a way to pull it off. So it's going to be fun, and I think it'll be fun to watch them as the underdog, because they'll be the underdog. They're not used to that. I think that'll be a whole different sense of motivation. So that'll be fun to watch. All right. Well, let's move on to the men here, the NCAA men. Let's dive into this. All right, Diego. So, man, we got Cooper Flagg. We got Bama, Auburn, all these teams. Yes, that's right. The next face of the NBA, Cooper Flagg. You heard it here first. All right, but what's the best conference? So a lot of people, before you go into it, we know a lot of folks are watching the show and admittedly probably haven't even really started digging into college yet. They're going to start digging into it about 2 weeks from now, and they'll start to kind of do their research in preparation for their brackets. And we will have a bracket challenge. Yes, Pick 'em Pros is going to have a bracket challenge, so that'll be out. The bracket platforms aren't ready yet, but I want to, if Sleeper has it, I want to use the Sleeper app this year. So I think that's the one that we'll use for our March Madness. But we're going to do probably a sneaker giveaway or something like that. We'll have a women's challenge and a men's challenge. So excited about that. But Diego, what's the best conference in the NCAA for the men right now?
And the best conference, definitely the SEC. I mean, they got 9 ranked teams, and 4 of those teams are in the top 6. So it's loaded with guys, loaded with teams.
Good gracious. Okay. Yeah, we see Brandon put that in as well. He said for men and women, SEC. Okay. Wow. All right. So who are your sleeper teams?
And my sleeper teams, I got Kentucky. They're the 17th team in the country.
Okay.
I mean, they've beaten 8 ranked teams this year. They beat Duke.
Okay.
They beat who's number 3. They beat Florida, who's number 2.
Okay.
They beat Bama, who's number 4. They've beaten a lot of top teams. They just don't. And they play in the top conference. They play in the SEC. Their record, they're 17-8, so they don't have the best record, but they've beaten a lot of top teams, and I think that they are the top sleeper.
Okay, you got them as your top sleeper. All right. Well, what about your pick to win it? So we know you love Duke. So are you going to be a homer, or are you actually going to be an analyst and kind of look at some of these other teams and pick someone other than Duke? Because you've picked Duke, I think, every single year since we've been doing this.
No, I've only picked them one time.
One time.
Yeah.
When
I
was
picked
that?
them
Was
when
that
they went
last
to the Final Four with Paulo, and they had Paulo. They lost to UNC.
Who'd you pick last year?
Last year I picked UConn.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Because
I picked
UConn actually won it. I don't remember you picking the team.
UConn.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
All right, we need a fact check on that. Brandon, did Diego pick UConn? We need a fact check on that. Summer, we need a fact check on that.
Definitely pick UConn.
I don't know about that. We got to verify that. All right. Well, I love Houston. So I can't. Oh man, I love their defense, the way they play.
Analyst, man. I actually analyze.
Oh man, well I'm analyzed, dude. That defense is. They've had some great wins. So it's funny. I would pick Houston as the sleeper and the team to win it.
They're the number 5 team in the country. That's not a sleeper.
Yeah, but they're still a sleeper.
They might be a 1 seed.
Houston?
A 1 seed is not a sleeper.
But still, who's picking Houston to win the championship? Nobody but me.
How have you looked at like the rankings, like who people have?
Yeah, but they're still a sleeper. They're still a sleeper because they lost Sheed. They lost so much coming into this year that nobody had Houston on their radar. Right. So they are a sleeper and my pick as it stands right now. Again, I haven't made my official bracket. I know y'all are waiting with big suspense for that. So when I make that, release that, we will definitely let you know.
I didn't even make my official pick. I have Duke, obviously, and Cooper Flagg win the MVP or whatever college MVP is.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. All right. Okay. Let's read what Brandon's got here. So men's Final Four: Auburn, Alabama, Duke, Iowa State. Women's got Notre Dame, UConn, South Carolina, UCLA. All right. Okay. We're gonna see that. And Brandon, we're gonna see you at the end for the Brandon Minute, although it's extended. So we'll see you for a couple of minutes here, Brandon. Can't wait to get your wrap up on our show. Put the bow on it real nice. All right. Yes. Okay. All right. So let's move on. We are going to move into the NFL. And we'll bring C-Payne back in here as we're going to talk NFL, and then we'll finish up with fantasy football. So those are the two things that we're going to touch on with the last 10 minutes or so that we have on the show. And again, we're going to plug our King show. Let me go ahead and plug this now. So we are so excited. 4 weeks from tomorrow, we will be at King's. We'll be in the beginning of March Madness. So here in Raleigh, North Carolina, we're hosting rounds 1 and 2 of the NCAA tournament. And Pick'em Pros has a box at the tournament. So first of all, that Saturday, March 22nd, we will have a show at King's. And tickets will be available tomorrow. Yes, they're tickets, but they will be free. The tickets are just to claim your seat to be able to be in the venue to watch it. So you have to claim it because there's limited space. And we are going to have an amazing guest list for you. The first guest that we are going to announce right now is going to be a legend. All right, a legend, Miss Dolores D. Todd. She is a legend. She was an assistant ACC commissioner. She was a coach for Georgia Tech, coach for Northwestern, has broken so many barriers for women, people of color. She's done so much, and we're so proud of her. She's local here in the area. We can't wait to have her on and give her flyers there at King's with a big audience. We cannot wait. And also just hear the story of how she graced the cover of Cornflakes back in the day. So just amazing. I had lunch with her recently, and we can't wait. And super special here because her name, Dolores, that's my grandmother's name. And then D, that's what my mom goes by. So there's so much. And then so many other ties to Winston-Salem State with my wife and everything. So she is amazing. So we cannot wait to have her on the show. Super excited about that. So we wanted to plug that. But you can claim your seat tomorrow. We will make that available to claim your seats. We have about 50 spots available to be able to actually sit there in the room with us and meet and greet and also get a raffle ticket. So this is the other thing. We will be raffling off tickets to round 2 of the NCAA tournament, which will be that next day. But you have to be there to win. So you have to claim a seat, be there, and we will raffle off a ticket and we will see who gets to join us in the box the very next day. So you'll hear much more about that. So I wanted to plug that. All right. So let's get into the NFL here. All right. We've got let's get into our surprise teams. I'm assuming you guys are going to be homers, but we'll see if you do any analysis on this. So Diego, NFL, we know the Commanders were the surprise team last year. There's always a team that nobody sees coming that shocks the world and goes far. Who's going to be the surprise team or teams next year?
No, there's only going to be one surprise team. That's going to be the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers will be the surprise team. We have a legit quarterback in Bryce Young. He's put up the tape. He's put up the numbers, and everybody's seen it. Okay, he played amazing against the 2 Super Bowl teams. He put a game-winning drive, 98-yard game-winning drive together in Philly against the Eagles. Then Xavier Legette sold touchdown. That's okay. And then against the Chiefs, he played really well. He only lost by a field goal, or however many they lost by a field goal, I think.
Okay.
And he just been playing great against a lot of great teams. You got Chuba Hubbard. We got a top running back. We got a solid receiving core, a lot of young talent. And good coaching too. Good coaching, Dave Canales.
Okay.
So I just think a few more pieces and we can be a Super Bowl contender.
Is he going to get benched this year?
No, because he got. I fell in that. He got benched. And that reignited a new version of Bryce Young.
Okay. But I mean, again, if that's what ignites him, that might be. I mean, maybe week 5, week 6, maybe we bench him for a couple of weeks just to get him pumped up. Maybe that's the way.
He's already pumped up.
He's already okay. So no more benching.
He got benched already. So now he's
that's
ready.
out of the way. Okay, that's out of the way. So C-Pain, before I give it to you, shout out to cousin Yvette. Thank you for watching the show. Much love. Thank you. So happy to have you. Thank you for watching us. All right. Love you. Okay. C-Pain.
Well, it goes without saying I'm going to talk about the Panthers, but Diego already did all the analysis, but I actually have a different team. I have the Bears. I think that Ben Johnson can, if that offensive line gets fixed in the offseason, I think Ben Johnson, his creativity and him wanting to prove a point, plus the whole being in division, he's in the same division as his old team.
Mm-hmm.
I think those games could get very exciting. And again, the Bears would have won that game on Thanksgiving had Eberflus called that timeout.
Right.
I hopefully Ben Johnson learns from that mistake. And again, they have great skill positions. They just don't have the offensive line. That defense still performed very well under less than optimal conditions with very poor coaching. I think Ben Johnson I think he has a chance to have a Dan Quinn type season as a coach next year. So I'm actually picking the Bears to be one of the surprise teams of the NFC. Again, Panthers homer, of course, I'm going to choose the Panthers, but my other team, I would look out for Chicago. I think that they could make some noise.
Okay. All right. I like that. Yeah. I like that. I think they'll definitely do that. My only argument would be, would they really be a sleeper team? So I know they had, their record clearly says they would be a sleeper team, but with the pieces that they have and Ben Johnson, I mean, some people even had them going deep into the playoffs this year.
Nick
and
Wright had them going to the Super Bowl.
Right, exactly. So they had a very disappointing year. So did they play more of their capabilities? But again, I get it. Record-wise, you could say that. So it's interesting. I'm gonna go on a far limb on y'all, as I do sometimes. Again, and this was as crazy as somebody saying the Commanders were the surprise team. You would have thought they were crazy. I'm gonna go ahead say the Arizona Cardinals.
Oof.
Arizona Cardinals are going to be my sleeper team. I'll see y'all, so maybe I can get some points so don't be mad at me for trading Devin Booker away, because I got the Arizona Cardinals making a run and going to the playoffs. So I'm gonna say Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, they got Kyler, they got Connor.
They got they got some pieces.
Got Maserati Marv.
They got some pieces. Yes, they got some pieces. And we're gonna have some of the Cardinals on the show. Bree's gonna be interviewing them in the next few weeks. So much love to the Arizona Cardinals. We're gonna show them some love, and we're gonna see. Now, Brandon said the Saints. Now, Brandon, I think did you say the Saints? Let's see, put it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Now you know what? I'm not mad at that. I started to say the Saints. Actually, especially no, because you guys are forgetting.
No, that's not even as a homer. Just no.
The Cowboy curse. Remember that Cowboy curse?
They have a Panther that's going to be in their way. They have a Panther that's going to be in their way, man.
Who?
Panthers.
Thielen?
Carolina Panthers. First down.
Okay, we got Leggett. All right. Did he get his wrist surgery? Did he have surgery on the wrist?
Derek Carr moves you. All right, that's. Leggett got his wrist surgery. He gonna be fine. He gonna fix the drops.
He got his wrist surgery.
But hold on.
He got his surgery.
Okay.
We're really believing in Derek Carr and that whole organization. After, again, 2 weeks. We were literally 2 weeks calling them Super Bowl contenders. What happened? They lost 7 straight. They even lost to us when we still didn't even know that we were even on a ball victory.
That was Bryce after the bench.
Y'all picked the Saints. Y'all were on the Saints after they were 2-0.
Yeah. I'm not letting that fool's going to happen again. That ain't happening. That's not happening.
All right. Well, let's move on here. Got a couple left. The Cincinnati Bengals. So still on the NFL. So now we hear they are looking to sign Higgins, sign Chase, sign one of their defensive stars. Okay, on the surface, sounds great because they have been a notoriously cheap organization. So sounds great. But is this the wrong time for them to all of a sudden spend? And are they going to handcuff themselves by having all this money tied into 4 or 5 players? Should they actually sign T. Higgins and do some of these moves that they're planning?
They need to get rid of T. Higgins so that he can land on the Panthers. And they need to spend some money on an O-line. That's what they need to do. They just need to get Burrow and O-line. And not even O-line. That defense. Defense, man. Defense is the number one thing because their defense is horrible. Yeah, defense. If they have any more money, they can pay an O-lineman. They need to pay Chase, but not Higgins. No, they can't do it.
What do you say?
Yeah, I would say keep Hendrickson and Chase because that's a triple crown wide receiver. If you don't play that man, that's horrible. You have to that's horrible. Yeah. And then again, Trey Hendrickson being the sack leader, he was the shining spot on a future defense. Andy Dalton let him up, and shout out to Andy Dalton though. But
he's not bad, man.
He's not bad, but Andy Dalton lining you up and all. Every other quarterback just going crazy. That's not great. That does not bode well. And plus, Cincinnati is one of those teams where everybody said if they snuck into the playoffs, they could have went on a run because everybody was afraid of Joe Burrow and Jamar at that point in time in the season. So yeah, they just need defensive pieces, man. So I think you got to let T walk.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of T. Higgins now. After seeing his performance in those last couple of games, he has to have some of the strongest hands in the league with some of those catches that he made. So, would love to see him there, but then, you've got the same team that you had last year. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that they need to improve the roster, draft a receiver, bring in some defensive help because the defensive side is what let them down. So they definitely need to improve on that side of the ball. All right. Well, let's move on to Matt Stafford. So we hear the rumors that the Rams may be looking to move on from Stafford. Is that a good or a bad move if they do that?
No, you have a top 5 quarterback in the league. You're not going to get a quarterback better than him on the open market. So I don't see the point. And you don't have a top 15. You don't have a top draft pick. So it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
My whole thing is the only 2 quarterbacks Sean McVay has worked with are Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. And the reason why they got rid of Jared Goff is because McVay was like, I need him because he plays exactly how I need my system to work.
Yeah.
So what is the point of even considering trading that away? Plus, Philly fans literally said that, hey, I didn't think we would win the Super Bowl after that Puka Nacua catch and that throw from Stafford if Jalen Carter did not show up towards the end of that drive.
Right. Yeah,
so
that's true.
Y'all are literally on the doorstep of beating the team that won the Super Bowl, and you're going to trade away the quarterback that gave you the best chance to do that. That's asinine to me. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree. I also have Matt Stafford as the 5th best quarterback right now, and I would not trade Stafford. I think they need to keep him. They've got something good going, and they are one of the few teams that match up very well with the Eagles. And with the additional moves that they're going to make on the defensive side, they can they can make a run. So the Rams look good. So I would not make that move. All right. Well, let's move on to our final segment here overall, fantasy football. Yes. We are far away from that, but there's a couple of things that stood out to us that we wanted to cover here as we're going to be off for a couple of weeks and wanted to tie in to these few topics here. So, and we know a lot of you are fantasy football gurus and lovers, and we can't wait for our season. That was amazing last year. Shout out to David Cook. We'll have him on as the fantasy season actually nears. He has the first ever Thompson Trophy. It is huge in typical Thompson fashion. So he'll bring that on the show and we'll show that off. So we can't wait to see you, David Cook, on that. But Diego, as of right now, who would you draft number 1 in fantasy?
So, a lot of people would say Jamar Chase, and that's a good pick. But at the top receiver or the top person every year hasn't come back as the top player the next year.
That's true.
Like Justin Jefferson, when he was the top player, he wasn't the top player the next year. Tyreek Hill, he wasn't the top player this year.
Yep.
And Jamar Chase, he's about to get the bag, so he's not going to be the top player.
True.
This next year. So I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra. Okay,
Woo.
Amon-Ra.
Woo.
He's on a good team. He's got good receiving core ahead. We got a good receiving core with him.
Okay.
He never gets He never gets hurt.
True.
And I think that he's just reliable.
Okay, reliable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is very important for that first pick. You have to get somebody that is going to be productive and that's going to stay healthy the whole year. So it was miraculous that Silas in our league, he had the number 1 pick McCaffrey, got to the championship game, but just did not have enough firepower because of that pick. So that definitely rang true there. But okay, good take there. What would you say, C-Pain? Who would you take number 1? Dude, are you playing in our league, man? Are you gonna step up and be in our league?
I'm stepping up playing in y'all's league.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Get some new fresh blood in there. Let me see if I can get a Thompson in my rookie season with y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see it.
All right.
So I'm actually gonna go with my other favorite Detroit line. I'm going with Jahmyr Gibbs. That man carried my fantasy team from the pits, from literally when I thought my season was over. It was terrible. He just, again, 4 straight weeks of just dominance. Again, the whole having to share carries with David Montgomery might make people wary, but again, Jahmyr Gibbs is a special talent. He's going to get his touchdowns. He's going to get his yards, even through, especially with receiving as well. I think Jahmyr Gibbs would definitely be my first pick.
I think having David Montgomery actually helps Jahmyr Gibbs. It prevents him from getting hurt.
True.
Taking some of the hard hits that like Saquon and some of these other backs do.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, I see Brandon had Saquon or Justin Jefferson there. So I think going into it, all the fantasy football magazines are going to have Saquon on the cover. I think he'll be the consensus number 1 pick. That scares me. Taking a back number 1, I'm leery of. I'd rather have a receiver number 1. Chase clearly will be the number 1 receiver going in. I like Tyreek, actually.
Wow.
I think Tyreek, coming off of such a disappointing year, he should have a huge bounce back season. So I think he would be a big surprise and make a lot of noise. So I got my eyes on him right now. I think my eyes on him. Now, hopefully, again, if you don't have the number 1 pick and you're picking a little later, he might slip a little bit. So he's my player to watch that you can probably get a little later just because of how the season went, that would probably have an explosive year. So I've got my eyes. I got my eyes on him. So we'll see. All right, can't wait for that. All right, now who's the do not draft? Who would you now? But it has got to be somebody good. Okay, so it can't be all right. Don't draft. I can't even think of somebody. But yeah, it has to be somebody that most people would. Yeah, right. That's right. Justin Tucker. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's right. That's a clear one. All right. But yeah, so who's your do not draft?
Anyways, I got 2 top 10 running backs that are ranked top 10 in the ESPN
Well,
so
that's
I
another
got
subject.
I got Devon A-Chain. Do not draft him. I believe he's ranked like 6th in the ESPN. No, he got a concussion last year. He's gotten lots of injuries throughout his first 2 years. So I would stay away from him, even though he's a really fast back and all that.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor, gave up on him after he fumbled in that clutch game.
Okay.
He's ranked, I believe, also in the top 5. But I wouldn't draft him either.
Okay.
I just don't. Yeah.
All right.
Really? So I'm gonna choose 2 backs as well. I'm going with Breece Hall. That was fool's gold last year. It's gonna be fool's gold again.
Okay.
And I'm actually going with the former Carolina Panther, Christian McCaffrey. Now, his injuries and everybody is expecting him. Oh, well, after an injury season, he might turn up again. Listen, he's been hurt way too much. And again, last year kind of spooked me because literally, like, we just found out, oh, wait, his Achilles doesn't work. And we were just like, then he had to go to a special person in Germany, like, a certain Laker. But that was kind of crazy. So, we'll see. I don't know. I'll be wary of drafting Christian McCaffrey. Now, hopefully he proves me wrong, but I doubt it.
Okay. But you guys did the safe pick. You tiptoed around it. Okay. But as the great Dennis Rodman was said, you got to put it on the table. All right. Okay. So I'm going to put it on the table. And I'm going to tell you who the do not draft player is. That's somebody that's not the obvious. That's actually a top player. The guy to not draft next year is Saquon Barkley. That's the one not to draft.
Wow.
All right.
I wanted to say it.
That's the one. Not, I know you wanted to say it.
Yeah,
you wanted to say it, but you didn't want to go out there. So this is pick 'em pros. This is what we do. All right. So Saquon Barkley is the one to not draft. Again, trending up. Everybody's so high on Saquon. Had a record-breaking year. All the signs. He's going to be on all the magazines. Whoever drafts him is going to be so happy. Oh, look who I got. I'm going to dominate you guys.
Man.
Right.
Yep.
And then again, it's all the signs are pointing. And you look at his history. Again, he's been an injury-prone player. So I'm just looking at the math again, not wishing any of that. Would happily be wrong on this. So we know that. But if I'm looking at how fantasy football typically works, I would be very leery of Saquon going into next season.
Yeah, the Eagles win got him juiced, y'all. He's right high on the Eagles when he's trying to go 2-0 on crazy stuff. I don't know.
All right. Well, we got one last fantasy topic here, and then we're going to bring on Brandon to close us out. All right. So the final topic here, and this is fantasy football, is the ESPN rankings. ESPN, again, great network. They bring us, all the sports and have great personalities on the show. Stephen A. and Ryan Clark and, all these guys, Pat McAfee, all these people. Okay. But the one thing that ESPN is terrible at is ranking fantasy running backs. I don't know what it is, but their fantasy running backs are trash and awful. And if you are picking your team, you do not want to go by the ESPN running back list. So, Diego, just tell us just how trash the ESPN running back rankings are, because they've already put the way too early running back list out, and it is garbage.
Yeah, this is horrible. So, first of all, I know you put Saquon as your do not draft.
Yep.
But would you draft Bijan Robinson over Saquon Barkley?
No.
Yeah, that's horrible. Bijan is the number 1 ranked back.
What in the world?
Number 1. Derrick Henry is ranked number 14 after he got 1,900 yards. That's crazy.
That is criminal.
That's criminal. Breece Hall's 4, Jonathan Taylor 5, Devon A-Chain 6, Bucky Irving 9. That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
It's horrible.
Yeah, they want to be right first on the running backs that are going to have their downfall. So they've been predicting Derrick Henry's downfall for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He's been out of the top 10 forever, and he keeps defying the odds. So, yeah, they are just awful with their running back rankings. Their receiver rankings are decent, but I don't know what it is about them, but their love affair with Bijan Robinson and Breece Hall.
Breece Hall, it's been the last 3 years.
The last few years, they've had them insane. 1, 2. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But C-Pain, what you got, man?
Listen, Derrick Henry, I don't know if anybody watched the games or watched film. But again, they were so focused on having to stop Lamar that they were like, hey, we're just going to let Derek win a couple games. Plus, we know how the Ravens season is going to go. They're going to struggle early on. They're going to have a couple rough games, and then they're going to turn around to Derek right around where you're going to need him in your fantasy playoffs. They're just going to give him the ball.
That's right.
I don't understand. Yeah. You're not going to be right on this one. I'm sorry.
No, it's not going to be right. And then after that, then the Lamar for MVP train is going to start. Yeah. So we know exactly how the Ravens season is going to go. We know exactly how it's going to go.
All right.
I had to throw that at you. All right, cool. Okay, well, hey, let's bring on our guy, Brandon. We got the Brandon minute, but we got 3 minutes here to get his take, what we were right on, what I was right on, what these guys were wrong on, and just anything else that he wants to share with us. So, Brandon, let's bring you on, my guy. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, doing great, man. How about you, bro?
I'm good. I'm straight.
Hey, I like that jersey.
Thanks.
Like that. Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't want to eat up your time with this, man. So, hey, give it to us, man. What you got?
So basically, for as the bracket busters, there's like on the men's side, there's like 4 teams, maybe like Creighton, Marquette, Murray State, and Drake. Yeah. They could, possibly, they could burst some brackets on the men's side. On the women's side, maybe like a Maryland, maybe like a Duke could shake some stuff up in the tournament. So look out for that. Stafford for his trades, I mean, it could be the Giants, could be involved, maybe the Jets, maybe the Steelers, maybe the Raiders. So it depends on what team willing to, give up a first round pick. Obviously, Myles Garrett is available, so teams got to look out for that too.
Yeah.
So, obviously, it's parity on men's and women's college basketball. We haven't seen that since forever. Same thing. Yeah. Now we got parity now even in college football. So college sports is really good in terms of parity. Hockey, they did their thing with the 4 nations. That was really intriguing.
That was great.
Obviously, baseball is in spring training right now, so they trying to get back to with the thick of things. Obviously, you have contenders, sleepers, and teams that are struggling out there in baseball. So it's really a fun event. Looks like we finna have Canelo versus Bud Crawford coming in September. So
September.
It should be interesting, who wins that fight. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff that's, looking forward to over these next couple months and even by the summertime.
Okay. So who you got for baseball? I know it's spring training here. Man, I think yours is your squad, the Mets.
It's actually the Astros. I kind of want them to be on top again, but either it's going to be Yankees Dodgers again, or possibly some new team coming from the AL or the NL, make it to the World Series.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I'll be looking out for that. Okay. I didn't realize. The Astros were your squad. Okay. Yeah. Love that take. Well, no, man, appreciate your analysis to see you cover again. I don't know anyone that is deeper into the trenches in a good way of sports than you, man. So you bring all angles, all aspects. So it's great to wrap up and hit all the things that we didn't cover in the world of sports, because there's so much. You can't cover it all in an hour, but you in a 3-minute span are able to encapsulate all that. So we appreciate that, man. And thank you also for managing the comments and helping with topics and all that. So become a big part of the show, as well as Summer and Joe here in the studio, and everybody that makes Pick 'em Pros go. So we appreciate all you guys. All right, my man. Well, hey, enjoy the games this weekend. Enjoy everything, and we will see you again in 2 weeks when we're live again, man.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
You're welcome.
All right. That is the one and only Brandon, man. He closes us out. So, all right. Well, hey, fellas, that is our time. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I believe that is March 14th. If I have my dates right, we'll be back here in studio, but we have a ton of content that will be coming your way over the next few weeks. So I have some traveling to do. So you'll see a bunch of content from the road. These guys will be putting out content. Brianna has some interviews coming out. We have so much coming out. So we'll have a plethora of content coming out. And then we'll be live back here in a couple of weeks again on the 14th. And then we have our King show, which is going to be fire. We just met with Kings earlier today. Oh, this is one thing we're going to announce. So again, the March show, the 22nd, again, that will be a free show. That'll be in the middle of Kings. You get your own food, get your own whatever, but you do have to get a free ticket just to reserve your seat because there's limited seating there. Okay. And that also includes a raffle ticket to then go to the game. But starting in April, we already have our dates through Super Bowl next year at Kings. We've got our dates, April, June, all our dates all the way through the Super Bowl next year. And all of our shows starting in April will be back in the Royal Room, VIP area, food, and all of that. So it'll be just like our show was the other week. So that will be the new normal for us. We're taking it a step up. We've gotten such big reviews. Everybody loved it. So we're going to go back to that. You can bowl during our shows and everything. So that'll kick off in April. So really excited about that. So thanks for making this special, fellas. All right. Okay, man. Well, let's go ahead and sign on out of here. We appreciate y'all. Much love. Thanks to Yvette for checking us out. Mashika, my wife, everybody, all the fans, man. Got a couple thousand people here, so we appreciate you. Until then, we see y'all next time. Pick 'em Pros. Later. Much love. Have a good weekend.
Survive.